You know how when you import an image, InDesign links to that file on disk, and then if the image changes, it'll actually show up as modified in InDesign's links panel. Then you can update it. Well, wouldn't it be cool if you could do the same thing with text files? Well, the answer to that is you actually can, but whether or not it's cool depending on your particular workflow. Let me show you what I mean. To get InDesign to link to your text files, you have to open the Preferences dialog box. On the Mac, you go to the InDesign menu. On Windows, you go to the Edit menu. But either way, you go to the Preferences submenu and choose Type. The Type pane of the Preferences dialog box has an option here called Create Links when placing text and spreadsheet files. And when that's on, it will actually link to your text files. I'll click OK and import a file. First, I'll jump to another spread. I'll press Option Page Down a couple of times, or Alt Page Down, to jump to this spread over here, pages 6 and 7. And I'm going to import my text file into this frame. I'll go to the File menu, as we've seen before, choose Place, grab my JavaCo and U file, and I'm going to turn on Import Options and click Open. In an earlier movie, we saw how you can create a preset to arrange all of these options just the way you want. So I'm going to choose that same preset and click OK. I'll place the text story in here, and that's looking pretty good. Let me double-click on this to switch to the Type tool and zoom into 200%, Command 2 on the Mac or Control 2 on Windows. And I see immediately that I need to start making some changes. I'm going to, for example, make this 1990 instead. Maybe I'll change this text over here to a young entrepreneur instead, and so on. You can make whatever changes you want and change formatting and this and that. Now let's go and look in the links panel, and we can see that there we go. There's our text file, that RTF file that we imported. It's actually linked to the file on disk. And we could go back to Word and make a change to that and then update it. Let's try that. The easy way to do that is to click on the Edit Original button. That switches to Word and opens that file for us. Now, of course, because it's opening the file from disk, the changes that I made to this story are not reflected here. But any further changes could be. So let's go ahead and maybe I'll take this formatting off that. Hard to concentrate, make that very bold, or whatever I want to do. Whatever changes you would make here. Oh, that's right, and this was supposed to be 1990. Good. Now I can click Save, Command S on the Mac or Control S on Windows, come back to InDesign, and we can see that it's going to update. Now, if I had changed this file externally, if I didn't use Edit Original, I would have seen a little modified icon here, and then it would have given me an option to update or not. But because I used Edit Original, it tried to update it immediately, and the first thing that it saw was I had made some changes to the story, so you know what? You're going to lose all those changes. This is the most important thing. If you remember anything from this movie, you should remember that any changes that you make to your story after it's inside InDesign get lost when you update the Word file. It literally is just throwing all of this stuff away and re-importing it. Well, okay, that's fine. I didn't make that many changes here, so I'll just click Yes. Well, this is interesting. Sure, it brought in the new text and made that 1990 and made that hard to concentrate bold, but the formatting is all messed up. What happened? Well, this is the second thing you need to remember. Any changes that you make in the Import Options dialog box, remember when I did that style mapping thing with the preset in the Import Options? InDesign did not remember that. It has no memory of anything you did with Import Options, and so all of that was thrown away. So in this case, this story, linking this to the file on disk is probably not a good idea. On the other hand, look at this text story over here. This is just a little text story, just this one frame, and I actually linked this to a different story called Zborn Text. And this is linked to that RTF file, and I can go ahead and edit that. Click on the pencil icon, come up here. Let's go ahead and change this to 1990, and we could say maybe change this to Georgetown, Texas instead. Click Save, and it was just Command S or Control S on Windows. Go back to InDesign, and we can see that immediately it all got updated, and it looks just right. Now, why did it work here? Because I had not made any local edits on the page to this, and I did not have to go to the Import Options dialog box in the first place when I imported this. So because both of those were true, it works fine. Linking to text files on disk is a great idea, but this whole losing the local formatting and any edits you've made is a really bad thing. On the other hand, if you don't do edits inside InDesign, and you can make the style names match up properly without the import options dialog box, well, then this linking to the text file thing could be a big efficiency boost for you.